What's up guys, it's Magaz here connecting you to Airsoft. We're going to speedrun this video, so check this out. This is absolutely off script, ad hoc. You notice that I'm wearing an interesting chest rig. This is the BE-X Northern Ireland chest rig from Begadi. Where did I get this from? Not Begadi, Action Hobbies. Now Action Hobbies, a UK airsoft retailer, occasionally do these crazy boneyard sales. The concept is basically somebody's getting out of the game. They sell all of the crap to Action Hobbies. Action Hobbies put it together in this boneyard section of their website. Everybody jumps on when it goes live. It's usually like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in an evening. And then there's usually some cool stuff in there. 60% of the time, have a look and don't buy anything every time.
60% of the time, it works. Every time.
But sometimes there is something on there that piques my interest at a ridiculous price. This time it was this chest rig from BE-X, 12 English pounds. Could not resist it as a DPM fanboy and a enjoyer of the Chad Northern Ireland chest rig. I had to buy it. So this isn't strictly speaking the Northern Ireland rig. It shares some features and similarities with it, but it is quite different in some ways. Let's take a look. Obviously it's the same sort of layout. You got your 4 magazine pouches up front, 2 admin pouches down here. Crosses at the back, the tactical brassiere some might say, and it has a strap at the waist. The strap at the waist is different to the Northern Ireland rig, which is permanently affixed at one side and buckles open at the other, and it has the British PLC sort of webbing mounting system so you can attach another pouch to it. Either way, this does actually come off at both sides and has got a lot of room for expansion on there. I've policed the terrible dangly straps and put some sniper tape around them so it's not all knocking about getting caught on trees. You should always do that if you are watching this video and you have some kind of chest rig, plate carrier, bag, anything, and you've got dangly straps on it. Sort your fucking act out, mate. Roll them up. Even if you just use insulation tape, sort them straps out. Up front, obviously we have the standard straps that you'd expect. These have no extra exciting features apart from these basic webbing loops up top. You can run your, if you've got a rucksack, you can run your hydration bladder pipe tube hose, I guess it's hose, through that, or comms. You can put your, if you've got a PTT mic on there, whatever you want. But the straps, basically dog dirt basic. Like I've said, they do cross at the back, so if that's not your kind of thing, this rig might not be for you. There's a hair right there, we'll put that over there. Up front we have 4 magazine pouches. These magazine pouches are pretty interesting. The elephant in the room, just quickly, I forgot to mention, normally when you get a rig like this, it's made out of Cordura, which is a nylon backed waterproof fabric, usually 500D to 1000D, super tough, super rigid. This, however, is not. It's made out of what feels like a canvas or maybe even a denim sort of fabric, which is interesting. It feels very tough, but also very malleable, very flexible, very bendy. It looks like the kind of thing a hipster would get a satchel made out of, but it's obviously in a super slick DPM pattern. When you open it up, you'll notice there is like a really thin nylon back into it. So they have thought maybe this isn't rigid enough. If we just back it with a little bit of nylon, it'll make it a little bit water resistant, maybe a bit tougher. So the pouches themselves, they hold 3 AR magazines. You can see I've got 3 Stanag magazines in this one. The front and back have this kind of plasticky rubber frame stitched into it. So the entire back has this hard panel, the entire front has this hard panel, which gives the front and back of the magazine pouch a rigid feel, but they can fold flat and you can fold the flap down and they can be really low profile. What this allows is for your magazine pouches to stay super easy to throw your magazines in. If they were entire, completely fabric, like on the Northern Ireland rigs, when you're trying to put your magazines back in there, sometimes it can kind of crumple up and it can be a bit awkward to get it in there, especially if you're shitting bricks, there's rounds coming in and you're fucking about. In that case, just fucking hoof your magazine on the floor and move on with your life. But, you know, if you really want to get the magazines back in there, it is nice to have this rigid front that you can put the magazine against and shove it in. The actual layout of the pouch is interesting as well. The sides are slightly taller and you can actually push the flaps inwards, the sides inwards. When you put the flap down, it actually creates kind of like a barrier to the elements, so rain isn't really going to get in there. They do have these drainage holes at the top and the bottom. I understand why they're at the bottom, but at the top it doesn't really make any sense to me. If you can think of another reason why these drainage holes would be in the top, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know down in the comments. The pouches themselves are attached in an interesting manner. They're only attached down the edges, and the bottom and top are left open. When I first got it, I immediately thought, oh nice, right, cool, so they've got magazine pouches behind the magazine pouches, so you can chuck them. They don't fit, and anything you do put in there, like say you were going to put a multi-tool or a pen or something in there, it can just fall all the way through and come straight out the bottom like that. So not ideal. Like I was saying, 3 AR magazines in each one, and I've tested them with your standard Stanag magazines, and then I've got some ICST mags in here. I've put P mags and all the other different flavors of magazines in there. The Stanag magazines are the best fit because they're obviously thinner. These guys with the wider base plates and they're ribbed for, well, my pleasure, I guess. Makes it a little bit harder to get them in, but they're in there very solid. They're not going to come out even if you jump about with that open. They're staying in there. Quick note on the flaps, they are Velcro all the way down. Hook Velcro on the flap, loop Velcro on the front of the pouch, and very secure closure. On the sides here are utility or admin pouches. So on the Northern Ireland rigs, these are giant pouches. You can fit a big old water bottle in there, and they're really useful for just storing away all sorts of random shit, or maybe like 3 or 4 more magazines. In this case, they're about the width of a magazine and coincidentally the depth of 2. So that's what I've stored in this one. We've got 2 Lone XP mags in there, which brings, because there's one on either side, your load carry capacity up to 16 magazines. So if we just zip this back up, these ones are zipper closed, and the zip open to the rear and closed to the front. It's a bit difficult to do when they've got 2 magazines in there. I don't think that was the thought process of the designer to put magazines in there, but why not increase your load capacity by carrying, you know, it makes sense. So yeah, there we go. It's basically 16 magazines. On the Northern Ireland rig at this point, I'll probably be talking about the admin pouch, which is behind here. There is nothing of the likes on this. There's no pouch back here. Normally, a little flap lifts up and you can put waffles or whatever the fuck you want in there and close it back up. Nothing like that on this. It's simply just 4 pouches up front, 1 on either side, carry magazines, go out there, kick people in the dick. Problem solved, problem staying solved, right? So it's just a super simple, lightweight, really well thought out chest rig. Now, why would I need a chest rig that can carry 16 magazines? Now, this is where things are going to get exciting. I've been talking with my contacts at ICS about getting hold of an L86 A2 light support weapon, the legendary Crow cannon. For those of you not in the know, the L86 A2 is part of the SA80 family of weapons, and it was the light support weapon, so basically what the Mini-Me was supposed to do, but prior to that. It kind of got phased out and it's obsolete now, really, but it's still a cool looking weapon system. I'm a big fanboy of it. Wanted to get hold of one for a long while, and they're going to send one out to me. So when I go out and run it, because of the nature of the L86, with it being bullpup, basically a FAMAS, magazine choice is interesting. You can run any kind of Stanag magazine in it. You can also run a drum mag, like a standard 1 drum mag, or a C mag. Now, if you're running a C mag, you've kind of got to hold it like this. You've got a super chicken wing. Your wrist can't get in there properly. Super awkward, not ideal, so I won't be doing that. And it's the same with a single drum mag. It's a little less obnoxious with that, but my choice of magazines is obviously just going to be mid caps, which when I do get out there and use this in its intended purpose as a light support weapon, doing that Alphonse machine gunner gameplay content, I'll be running it on mid cap magazines. Give me about 100 to 180 rounds per magazine, which is going to kind of change up from when I used to create content with the SAW, where it was just 2,500 rounds and I could just hold that down full send and set the gun on fire if I wanted. But with this, I'm gonna have to obviously make some reloads, and it'd be great to have a rig to basically give me the load capacity to carry enough magazines. And I think this is going to be my support gunner loadout. Obviously I'll have my pistol belt underneath. This gives it enough clearance for a pistol belt down there, and I can also, if I want, throw my mini map on the back with another 8 or 10 magazines in there. So when I start to run out, I can just pull that off, switch the magazines out where I need to, and then get back into it. So that's what I'm going to use it for. If you've got any questions about this chest rig, drop them down in the comments. I'm not sure how much info I'll be able to give you on it because I can't find any further info on it. Begadi don't really do that much of the BE-X line anymore. I don't even know if it's still an active product line. I've seen it knocking about on Vinted and Facebook Marketplace of all places, and obviously secondhand sales like this, but generally it's really hard to come by. The only similar item I've found is an article by Popular Airsoft on a very similar DPM chest rig, but it isn't exactly this one. I will link that article down below so you can take a look at it, and it might give you a bit more information, but bear in mind it isn't exactly this chest rig. So yeah, there we go. If this video has been useful to you, I'd appreciate it if you go ahead, hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit the real subscription button, which is that notification bell right next to it. Remember, that's all free and it supports the channel. I know a shit ton of you who watch this aren't actually subscribed, and that breaks my fucking heart, dude. You don't want to do that, you know. I'm an alright guy, maybe. If you want to support the channel monetarily, like these absolute diamond geezers on screen right now, and see your name up on every video like these guys until the end of time, jump over to patreon.com/cbmpc and join it's like $1 a month or some shit. Obviously don't feel obligated to do that, but do that. It'd be really fucking nice. And if you want to see more content like this one talking about chest rigs and other low carrying equipment, I just spat that, you probably see it on the video. If you want to see another video similar to this, you can take a look at this one right here about the Northern Ireland chest rig from Highlander. Down here is going to be a playlist of other content similar to this, low carrying equipment, chest rigs, plate carriers, that sort of thing. Check it out, some top tier content in there. Thanks for watching. As always, I'm Magaz, and remember kids, the air may be soft, but our balls are hard. Fucking hell.